Hey everyone, welcome back to my vlog. I just got back from Korea during Golden Week. Anna Grace, Sophia, and I decided to take a super last minute trip to Korea, and we just had so much fun. So I guess we can just get into it. Our travel day, or day zero, all we really did was we had to take the Hello Kitty train from Kyoto to Osaka, and then we got on our flight in Osaka. Nothing super eventful happened except for when we landed in Korea, we took an Uber to Ansan, which is where we were staying, and we quickly realized our hotel was a lot fancier than we thought it was, which was super nice. And after that, we went to this fried chicken and beer shop right across the street, and that was that moment that I realized the food here was really gonna just blow my mind. It was so good. Day one, we decided to spend the day in Myeongdong because we had heard about the street food market and we were really interested. This place was huge and definitely the most touristy thing we could possibly ever do in Korea, but it was super fun. We went to our first K-barbecue shop. We went to so many throughout the trip, but God, K-barbecue is just so good. I love it so much. But overall, we just did a lot of shopping and exploring. We also found this cute caricature shop and we got our little caricatures done. And then we also went to a bunch of photo booths and had fun. When we went home though, back in Ansan, we went to the Outback Steakhouse, which I know, guys, I know it's American, but guys, I've missed ranch so much. There was just it does not exist in Japan. And being able to get a fried chicken tender salad with ranch, I almost cried, not even gonna lie. But besides the point, that was day one. On day two, it was probably our busiest day, if not one of our busiest days. We started off the day pretty early, going out to Gangnam because we really wanted to visit the Starfield Library. But first, of course, we had to stop at P.F. Chang's. I know, guys. The Americans went to the two American chains. But guys, I've been living in Japan for so long. I have not had American Chinese in so long. It really hit the spot. After eating at the P.F. Chang's, then we kind of toured around the mall that the Starfield Library was in. We were definitely confused on why it felt like we were in America because they had California Pizza Kitchen and a bunch of other random places. But we finally found the library and it was so pretty. It was just gorgeous. Loved it so much. Then we went, of course, to the famous Gangnam Style statue, and there was a button next to it and I pressed on it, which started the entire song, and the girls really did not appreciate me turning that on. In my defense, I did not know it was going to play the entire song really loud. Then we went across the street to the Byeongan temple. Although we have a lot of Buddhist temples in Japan, it was just really cool seeing the difference between both countries and how their Buddhist temples look. I really loved the craftsmanship of this temple, and they painted on all the buildings and I was just mesmerized. I also really loved the inclusion of all these cute lanterns of different colors with little messages on them. But overall, the temple is really great. After the temple, we decided to take a bus down to Gyeongsang because that is where Hive Entertainment is. Hive Entertainment is the entertainment company that BTS is under. And as a BTS fan, I felt like it was my right to just even see the building. We went to the mall right next door, found a questionable spa shop that we were a little confused about, and then we found another beard fried chicken place and ordered their spiciest chicken and found out we, in fact, did find it really spicy. After that, we just went home, crashed so hard. So on day 3, we ended up sleeping in, and we honestly didn't leave the house until after 1 o'clock, to be honest. That day we ended up going to Mapuku, which is right next to Hongdae. We went there because my friend Jordan told me about this shop that's based off Kiki's delivery service. And guys, this is the cutest shop ever. I'm actually obsessed. I loved it so much. It felt like I was in a real Studio Ghibli movie. And then after that, we went to a couple more photo booths and then an American restaurant. It was interesting, to say the least. And then we got another caricature done, but this time of the 3 of us, and then we went home. So day 4 was probably the most surreal day of the trip because while Sophie went back to shopping in Hongdae, Anna Grace and I decided to book a tour to go to see the DMZ. It was one of the wildest experiences of my life. Our guide was telling us all about like the stories of like what happened in between like the war. Like we got war breakdowns. We also got like personal stories from like her and how her family has been affected. It was just honestly very intense to hear, especially like just understanding how much like the North Korean and South Korean split of the country like affected the country, and it like how it affected families, how families could not reach out to each other. That was really hard to hear. We were also able to visit one of the tunnels that North Korea dug to try and attack Seoul, which was super intense to say the least. I personally was a little scared being in a tunnel that deep. After that though, we were able to actually see North Korea through this like observatory, which was probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. Just like being able to weirdly watch North Koreans live. I kind of felt weird watching them, but it was definitely very interesting. And then after that, we ended up meeting up with Sophie out in Hongdae, and we went to another K-barbecue shop. This time it was all you can eat, and we really took full advantage of it. And then we had more shopping, and then we ended up calling it a night. In brighter news, day 5 was Hanbok Day. We ended up heading to a hanbok shop pretty early in the morning, and right after we were dressed, we headed to the Gyeongbokgung Palace, where we spent basically all day feeling like princesses in a historical drama. It was so much fun. We took a lot of photos. We ended up exploring the castle, but overall we kind of just stuck to the palace. And luckily at the palace, we ended up actually going at a time where they were doing historical reenactments. So that was super cool to watch. It was something I really did not think I was going to see, and it was really, really cool. And then after we left the castle, honestly, all we really did was go home. Sophie and I ended up going back to the chicken and beer place that we went to when we first landed, and they remembered us, which was really funny. But overall, it was a really, really good day. Finally, day 6, last day, best day, to be honest. After a really slow time getting up, we all knew we wanted to go out partying. So we all just kind of got ready for that. Sophie and I ended up actually leaving a little bit earlier, and we went back to Myeongdong in the morning to pick up some last minute shopping and souvenirs. And of course, we had to go get more street food. After that, we ended up heading down to Itaewon. We met up with Anna Grace, and we had some fire pizza. Like, this pizza was so good. And then we started heading off to the bars. Although shortly after being in Itaewon, we quickly realized there wasn't many clubs. There was a lot of bars there, but there wasn't a lot of like dancing nightlife. So after talking to one of our servers, she told us that if we really wanted to like party, then we should head back to Hongdae. So we took the first train back, and man was she right. I have never seen a more packed nightlife in my whole life. Every single club had huge lines to get in. It was crazy. It was so crowded, but the music was so good, and we ended up like partying and spending the whole night bar crawling to the point that we didn't get home until 5:30 in the morning, even though we had to check out of the hotel at 11 a.m. So travel day started off pretty rough. We woke up, got packed, and we're out of the hotel in under an hour, which was, you know, pretty impressive. And then we quickly got lunch, and then we headed to the airport. On our way to the airport though, our Uber was really late, and he kept getting lost trying to find us to even pick us up. So by the time we got to the airport, we were there with maybe, 50 minutes until we had the board, which is not a lot of time to get through security. And not only that, our Uber took us to the wrong terminal, even though we told him multiple times which terminal to be at. So then we had to quickly ride the terminal shuttle from the first terminal to the second terminal. By the time we got there, we had less than 20 minutes until boarding started. And we were just like, well, we're at the rebook. So we were all super stressed. But luckily, we ended up getting through security. One of the workers at Korean Air actually gave me a disability pass so I could get through security faster, and he like expedited our bags. It was this whole ordeal. We ended up sprinting across the airport, but we ended up getting there with, I think, 2 minutes before boarding started. It was really, really impressive. And then after that, we did the whole thing of flight, train home, got home, went to bed. On the train though, I did realize I left my souvenirs in the airport in Osaka. But luckily, it's Japan. So did they save it for me? Yes. Was I able to get it the next day? Absolutely. Do I think it could happen in America? Probably not. But overall, that was kind of our Korea trip. It was a ton of fun. I honestly miss the food the most, to be honest. And weirdly, how it kind of felt like America 2.0. But honestly, I was just super excited to get back to Kyoto. Weirdly, I was pretty homesick for Japan by like day 3, which I honestly never thought I would be that homesick over. But overall, I'm back to classes. I'm back to living my everyday life. And yeah, I hope you guys liked this vlog. And I guess watch out for the next one. Bye!